Hello, Joy Olson of Blockbuster Fundraising. 2 weeks until Christmas, and this is holiday fundraising, and it is all about using the right words. The right words guaranteed to raise money. Well, Claire of Clarification has put together some great ideas, some key ingredients that make your fundraising offers irresistible. She says that these 3 words, in her opinion, and my opinion too, are the holy trinity of fundraising success. And you've probably heard these words before, but now is the time to wrap these words into your year-end fundraising appeals. And they are simple, and they are easy to remember, and best of all, they work. And of course, what you want to do too is to wrap them up with emotions. And then you're going to have an offer that no one can refuse. Okay, here you go. First word, you. Did you know that you is one of the 5 most powerful words in the English language? I'll bet you did. But on your checklist, you've got to make sure that you use you rather than I, or our rather than we. You've got to make sure it's all about your donors. And you certainly makes that connection between you and your donor. And it's a cute saying that Tom Ahern, a great fundraiser, says, "You is the glue." And that's exactly true. It grabs your donor's attention, and you is sticky. It helps to really tip your donor towards seeing your request in a positive light. And you makes the story you tell about your donor. Donor-centric. I know you hear that all the time, donor-centric, but it's got to be about your donor. Put fulfilling your organization's missions words out. They don't really care. They want to know about the character in the story and your values and what's going to happen. So use you to make your donor the hero, because they are the ones that are going to make this happen. So you want to show your donor how to be the very best version of themselves. You can do this. You did this. Your commitment will make this happen. You are the magic, powerful, extraordinary, unselfish, honorable. You get it. Instead of we cure cancer, or our organization cures cancer, they cure cancer. You and yours can cure cancer. So you want to speak to your donor personally, and you always want to really assume their best qualities. You certainly want to be flattering, and you want to allow them to rise to the generous occasion of year-end giving. Okay, let's go on to the next big word of the 3, and it is because. And Claire says, I thought my mom was crazy when she said, do this because I said so. Who knew there was a method to mom's magic? So guess what? And this is true. Neuroscience studies show this magic word can make any statement more persuasive. Because one of the most interesting studies, and this is reported by Harvard Magazine, it revealed that as a trigger for acquiescence, the word because increases the success rate by over 30%. Wow! Because is an automatic trigger for compliance. So this is really pretty amazing. And I think that you would be, all of us fundraisers, we'd be really smart to use it, because it turns out that because is one of the most persuasive principles that help explain the psychology of why people say yes without thinking. Whoa, the human brain is wired to react when it hears because. Isn't that amazing? It's a magical word. The automatic trigger for compliance. Wowie. Well, you can get a yes without using because, and you can get people to think and consider your appeal and still make a contribution. But if you can boost your chance by 30%, wouldn't that be a very smart thing to do? Wow, you gotta do it, 30%, that's incredible odds. Okay, here are some examples then of how to use because. Instead of, today I'm sharing Amelia's story with you, you say or write, today I'm sharing Amelia's story with you because she needs your help. Instead of, yes, I want to give, write, yes, I want to give because children need me. Isn't that better than like donate now? Yes, because it is. Instead of, please consider a gift of $500, say, please consider a gift of $500 because children need your help. Instead of, provide a meal to a starving child, say, provide a meal because Miguel is starving. And you know what? You can do this to almost any sentence. And I know it's simple. It's almost ridiculously simple. Yet research reveals that the way people respond is somewhat mindless and it works. Using the word because triggers that familiar network. It gives us a reason to act without even thinking about it. So here's what you want to do is use the word you, use the word because, and now the third word, thanks. Saying thanks reminds folks that they've given to you before. And there is a magical power behind the word thanks. It puts people in a receiving mood. It's considered good manners, and it makes you look like a good and giving person. And it gives folks something that they really want. To put it simply, it makes folks like you. Penelope Burke did some groundbreaking research in donor retention. And you know what? She found that the three principal things that donors want from charities all have to do with thank you. They want to be thanked, 1, promptly. They want to be thanked, 2, personally. And 3, they want to be thanked in a manner that reflects back the impact of their giving. You don't just thank them for everything. You go back to the impact of their last gift. You remind them how valuable that gift was by including that impact. So the thank you process will be the single biggest indicator of your donor's likelihood to give again. Very true, very important. The thank you process will be the single biggest indicator of your donor's likelihood to give again. Remember that. But don't just save the word thanks for your acknowledgement letters. When you thank donors in your appeal letters for their past giving, it also reminds them that they already made that decision to give to you. And this triggers one of the 6 principles of persuasion, commitment, and consistency. We tend to repeat decisions we've already made because doing so is congruent with our self-image. Isn't that kind of interesting? Very interesting. Remind them that they've been there for you. Remind them how long they've been there for you. And when you thank prospects in your appeal letters for being caring people, it plays into the vision that they would like to see when they look in the mirror. Really. So saying thanks to folks flatters them and it plays to their ego. So what are the 3 words, the recipe for success in year-end fundraising? You, because, and thanks. So if you begin and end with these staples, you'll be well on your way to an appeal or year-end emails that your donors will want to react to. There is a little bit more that we can add, that Claire likes to add to this recipe of these 3 great words. And she talks about emotional color. You can add a lot of color with your words. No magic markers required, she says. And no need to add a bunch of adverbs and adjectives. Just write in a manner that lets readers know how your protagonist, the person they can help heal, rescue, save, and otherwise raise up with their gift, feels about their situation. By sharing that emotion, you can get your donor to empathize with that emotion. And empathy, and I think we all realize this, empathy is what motivates us to philanthropic action. So that is a very important connection. There is emotion and empathy, and you must remember that because you really want your donors to react. You want them to give to the person that you're talking about. So let's look at a couple of sentences that Claire put together for us so that we get this feeling. So what might she be feeling? Why might your reader care? All right, listen to this. Color, remember we're adding color to your ask. She saw the bowl of soup. She saw the bowl of soup and her heart sank. She saw the bowl of soup and it flooded her with happy childhood memories. She saw the bowl of soup and was overcome with how hungry she felt. She saw the bowl of soup, but a feeling of hesitancy crept into her being. She saw the bowl of soup and immediately felt overwhelmed. So what's the difference between the first sentence and all those that follow? You're telling a story. The things, like the bowl of soup, aren't what your reader's brain is searching for. Their brain is searching for the expression on your protagonist's face and what that expression means. What's her mood? What difficulties is she encountering? Is her situation causing her to feel anger, despair, nostalgia, frustration, exhaustion, hopelessness, depression? So you see there that even if you have a great photo of a woman with a bowl of soup, your prospective donor needs to know what this signifies. Why is it important? You add the emotional meaning through your words. There may be words in the photo caption, and I think that captioning your photos is really important. Or there may be words that precede or follow your main statement. And many people can drink soup, and each one will feel totally different about that soup depending upon how you color the situation. Remember, emotion sets the scene. Emotion leads your donor through the rest of your email or your letter, and emotion helps your donor empathize with the situation. So just like you, because, and thanks, emotional words add the color and spice. And that's what is really important. I know that you're going to have lots of great appeals. Right now, probably you're going to really focus on those year-end email appeals, and they are so important. So use this information that Claire has given us because it will really, really help. And just to make it a little more interesting today, there are 4 more magic words. Are you ready? Small, immediate, expert, and support. And each of those 4 words packs a bigger punch than you might imagine. and tends to persuade folks to jump right in and make that donation. Would you like to know how? Well, using the word small can make a big difference. And I'm going to give you this example right now. Research has been done that shows that by adding a minimal parameter, small, to the gift solicitation can drastically alter the results. Okay, listen to this. One group of prospective donors were asked, would you be willing to help by giving a donation? Another group was asked, would you be willing to help by giving a donation? Every penny will help. People who were asked the second variation were almost twice as likely to donate. So the amazing takeaway from this study is the amount that the donors gave did not vary with the addition of the diminutive qualifier, but simply knowing that even a penny could help spurred people who might not otherwise have acted to give. So that's pretty interesting, don't you think? Okay, let's take a look now at another magic word. Next magic word is immediately. Hey, we live in an instant gratification culture, and when we buy something online, we want to receive it overnight. And when we make a donation online, we want to know that it went to work right away. So, if this is reminding you to get your donor's thank you letter out right away, good. You should always follow through right away to show your donors that their gift was received and will be put right to work. But how can you use immediately to persuade your donors to make a gift in the first place? Okay, here is the answer. Simply tell them your gift will be put to work immediately, or your gift will instantly be put to work. And your donors are going to like that because donors are wired for instant gratification. They don't want to wait to see their dollars go to work. They want to help you right now because you've convinced them with your wonderful story. You've said because you need them, and they say, good, I'm going to get immediately, I'm going to help. And they feel really good about that. Ready for the next magic word? Expert. We trust authorities and experts. We seek them out whenever we need to make an informed decision. And trust for nonprofits is an important commodity. It's the foundation of lasting relationships. And this holds true for your relationships with your donors. If you can get your donors to trust your organization, you are really, well, half the battle is won. Unfortunately, many donors have less than a high opinion of charities. So you need to overcome the perception that you may not be trustworthy. And one way to do that is to showcase your expertise. And if you list the credentials of your program's directors, whatever you can do, if you have esteemed board members or donors, ask them to endorse you, testimonials, and also be sure and put up your charity navigator, your guide star. Make sure that you are as expert looking as possible, because nothing converts to donations better than actually using the word expert in your call to action. Take a look. Imagine these two different appeals. Yes, I want to support cancer research. Yes, I want to support the expert cancer research team. Or, yes, I want to support the fieldwork team. Or, yes, I want to send experts into the field to help rebuild. So that is an important information from studies that if you can use yourself, show yourself as an expert, it's going to help. And last but not least, support. This is what Claire says is a killer tip for your donate button. Instead of simply saying donate, research shows you're better off using the word support, followed by the name of your cause or your specific campaign purpose. In fact, experts say, the experts, it can increase your donation rate by 16% per page view. Wow! And while you're at it, research also shows that adding a photo and amount increases donations. People simply pay more attention to images than text. And you know what everybody says, all the experts say, a picture is really worth 1,000 words, especially if it's one that tells a story or a short video. If people can visualize how their money is going to help support a cause they value, they're going to be at least 16% more likely to act. You can always test all of this, but remember that there is some magic in these magical words that we've talked to you about today that you can use right now through year end. Well, you can use all of 2018 too. But I think that make a little checklist with these words and make sure that you're using them. She also says make sure that you increase the size of your font when using these words because it can add a 2% increase. People need to be able to read easily because they're going quickly. They are scanning. So make it easy to read, use the magic words, and you're going to have great holiday fundraising results. Hey, Joy Olson here, Blockbuster Fundraising, wishing you and your organization the very best fundraising results. We have lots of help available to you on blockbusterfundraising.com, joyolsongroup.com, and hundreds of free fundraising tips on video on our YouTube channel. Okay, remember, these are easy words to remember and they really work. So put a lot of emotion in the right words and you're going to do just fine. Thanks for having been here today. Bye-bye.